As we get older, we lose those eyes of wonder, but it's best to hold on to those eyes of wonder, and photography can help us hold on to the wonder and to grow our wonder. As we search for our photographs, we can wonder about the things we see. Oftentimes, that wonder is not with a conscious mindset. It usually happens subconsciously, and it's not very significant. But we can make it more significant. We can make it more significant by becoming deliberate about it, deliberate about what we wonder about. As you walk through the woods, think about what you see and let it drift your mind towards God, and wonder as you wander in the woods or wherever you like to wander. Let that wonder continue as you pick out something to photograph, whether it's big or small. And again, let that drift your mind towards God and away from distractions. Slowly going through the process of photographing His creation is a way we can disconnect from the distractions and then record that time with God, helping us treasure it in our hearts. This applies to searching for photographs and while we wait for the right moment to take a photograph. The photos we have at the end can be a visual prayer journal of our time with God. Waiting for a photograph is a time to wonder, whether you're waiting for a landscape photo, a wildlife photo, or waiting for flowers to bloom in the backyard. I had to wait for this photograph as I stood on the shores of the lake. I had to wait for the sun to rise. As you wait for your photograph, this is a great time to wonder about what you see. Think about it. What an awesome time to stay there and wonder and think as you wait to photograph. Such as when we wait for that sun to rise and we see what the early morning light is doing to the sky and to the landscape before the sun even comes up. Connecting with God takes time and waiting, as does getting great photographs. Combine these two into one experience. As we wait for a photograph, we can think about what it means to wait on God. And just like waiting on a sunrise brings us a glorious sunrise, what can waiting on God bring us? The story of this photograph is this. I mentioned that my son is in the Trail Life USA scouting group, and one time his troop was taking a camp out. It was a smaller camp out with just certain boys at the older level boys. It wasn't a whole troop camp out, so it was kind of smaller. And we went to this campground about an hour away from where we live, and it was in mid-fall, so the colors were just starting to change on the trees and then the other vegetation. And as the morning came, I got up before anybody else did, and it was pre-sunrise. It was about 30 degrees. It was a little frosty, but I got up and with the idea of photographing the sunrise, and I began to walk around and I began to look at things, and I took some pictures before the sun came up of some other things that looked kind of interesting, and then I started picking out a spot where I was going to photograph the sun as it came up. And I looked around and I saw how the sumac plant has changed colors already. That's the plant that's red in this photograph, and I wanted to incorporate a little color into the picture, and I just was thinking about God and having a good time with God as I watched the mist on the lake, and I wanted to put that in my photograph, and kind of I used a little bit of the other vegetation there to frame my photograph as well. And as I waited, I just had time with God, wondering about what I saw, wondering about Him, and just connecting with God. And then I got this glorious sunrise as I waited and photographed it. It was a beautiful morning, and I remember the experience to this day. So it's good to wait on our photographs, and it's good to wonder while we wait. But then there's the act of taking that photograph. As we go about photographing our subject, think about it and wonder about it. If you're photographing a flower, wonder about that flower. What's its purpose? What's the purpose of everything about the flower? The color, the smell, each petal, the blossom itself. Why did God create it the way he created it? Think about the insects that may be flying around it or maybe on it. Why are they attracted to the flower? Right? What brings them there? We know they want the food, but something brings them there. The color, the smell, the beauty of the flower. And why are we attracted to the flower? Why do we think it's beautiful? It's really not anything for us. We don't eat its nectar or collect its pollen, but yet we're attracted to it and we find it beautiful. What does all that tell you about God? What does it tell us about God? How does it make him more real to you when you think about those things? So just don't photograph things. Wonder about them. The trend today is to go crazy with the camera, right? We got these digital cameras, we got our phone, we got our, our high-end camera or whatever. But the thing is, we can go crazy and just photograph at will, fire lots of photographs off at will. People go crazy. I mean, that's so true about so much we photograph today, right? We don't pay attention to what we're photographing anymore. We don't take time to enjoy the moment and appreciate what we're photographing. Too often it's about getting a photograph for social media instead of the pleasure of the moment and preserving that moment in a still image to look at later, to view later, to remember the moment later. All too often it's about outdoing somebody else on social media by getting more likes, right? I know I've been there. I missed a lot of moments by photographing through the moments and not really thinking about the moment. But not anymore. Instead, I wonder about it before I photograph it, while I photograph it, and after I photograph it. I guarantee you'll get better photographs with far fewer clicks when you wonder. Don't make it about shooting lots of photographs to show other people on social media and wherever. Make it about a moment with God, a moment he's giving you so you could wonder in and at his creation and connect with your creator through your own creativity. I would challenge you to do this. Instead of posting lots of photos on social media, post one, maybe two, and mention how the photo spoke to you about God before, during, and after you photographed it. Tell people of the moments, that time you had with God. Ask people to study the photograph and think about it before they go on to the next photograph posted by something, or the next post posted by somebody else. In the next module, we're going to go deeper into moments with God and making the photograph emerge from that moment with God and not from simply taking 50 photos.